Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Andy Show. Andy here, and while we haven't got an increase in our shares purchased just yet, I wanted to let you know that I did send a wire late last week. They have received it, and we currently have just over 58 million dinar in the account to trade with. Our current net asset value is 2,011,672,761 dinar. So basically what this means is 58 million we're going to be using to purchase. We're going to build Al Mansur Bank up to excuse me, $500 million, and we're going to increase Al Mansur Pharmaceutical to 100 million. I had put the balance of the funds, whatever was left over after they did those two purchases, into Baghdad for soft drink. Unfortunately, according to their stock exchange laws, rules, whatever, there can be no more than 49% international investment, and they are at that level with Baghdad for soft drink, so we are unable to purchase Baghdad for soft drink. I had to send in a new buy order, so we're going to dump that into Asia Cell. So we don't get as much bang for our buck, but with Asia Cell paying out as well as they are this year, it's pretty phenomenal. And I want to get into that, but first just let you know that our net asset value is up, our ability to purchase stocks, and that I should be giving you an updated share count probably tomorrow, I would guess. I sent that to them around 6 o'clock this morning, and I don't know if they'll have time to purchase today or not. With the 8-hour difference, it would put it late afternoon or mid-afternoon over there. So I don't know if we're going to have time to make the purchases to where they will show this. If not, by Thursday, these amounts should be updated. This will of course drop, and then we'll see where this lands us in our net asset value. Now, I spoke the other day regarding Asia Cell, and turns out, thank you Don for pointing this out to me, it turns out that they do indeed plan to pay 70%. Now, we don't know exactly, I don't have the dates that they're paying through, so the amount that we were paying may not be based on this 70 million shares, okay? The reason for that is I don't know the exact number of shares that we will have had at the time they had their cutoff. Prior to COVID, it went from April 1st through March 31st. Okay, and then last year, they paid out. They figured everything out, and they ended up paying us, not us, in the other group that I was in, paid sometime I believe in June. And then once the pandemic hit, they didn't do anything for several months. So last year they paid out around this time, but I don't have access to find out if it was from April 1st of 2019 to March 31st of 2020, and they only paid out, 6 or 7 months later. So I don't know exactly the dates. I will find out. We will look more into this as it progresses, but we are in a place of uncertainty right now. But I did in the previous video talk about how great the dividends were going to be and talked a whole lot of numbers, and I need to clear this out here. Okay, so what I did, I I think I suggested that it could be a little over 200. I'm not sure where I got those figures, but well, let me back up here first and say that depending on the cutoff time, as you can see here on March 23rd, we added 3 million shares, and then April 1st, we added 500,000, then we added just shy of 2.5 million, we added 500,000, we added 5,000, and this all happened after April, so April 1st, April 4th. What it is when I sent them the money, they only had, they would buy what they could each day until they used up our funds to add to this. But again, on April 12th, 490,000, and then you go down, I think there's one more, yeah. And then we bought 1 million on May 3rd. So we're looking at possibly, 60 plus million at the least that we will draw dividends, okay? And you can see we purchased all this at 9.09 until we got down here at 9.08. So we paid a fairly high price for these, okay? And I'm just saying that because right now, and that's another thing, I don't know the value. Right now it's at 8.88. So I don't know what the value was at the time that they are planning to pay. So we can only kind of tinker with the numbers a little bit. And let's just say that we have, I think we're safe in saying we had 65 million shares, okay? And we'll use 8.8 as a reference. So 8.8 dinar times 70%. So that's 400,400,000 dinar. And please note that I do not know the exact number of shares that we will be paid on. I'm guessing somewhere in the 65 million range. Again, because I don't know the date, the cutoff date. But I think we're still safe in saying around 65 million. Okay, and you take what the current rate is. I don't know what the rate was at that time. The cutoff, we bought it for 909, so it could be just right around 9. Again, there's just no way to know the exact numbers until they tell us what they are. So just for the sake of trying to figure out about what we would get per block, okay, paid back in dividends. So you got 400,400,000 is what we can sort of estimate as to what we'll get. Okay, but then you divide that by the 1450 to convert it to dollars. Now we're looking at $276,137. Okay, now you take that, the 276,137, and you divide that by, there's 12,880 blocks. So you're coming out with roughly $21 per block. Folks, if this is anywhere close, and again, we won't know until we actually collect on those dividends. They have not yet even sent the paperwork for us to sign and get back to them for them to collect our dividends from AsiaCell. So this is going to be probably another month and a half, 2 months before we even see the dividends. Again, there's just no way to know for sure, but if this is the amount, it will increase the value of our blocks, the value of our blocks. Roughly we were sitting at 115 per block. we're on the plus side. This should send us up to 135 a block. So we're profitable without taking any money out. I just don't, at $20 a block, where it's a 20% gain on our money, but by the time you sell the stocks or cash the dividends in, there's going to be a fee on their end. Then there's going to be a fee to convert to US dollar. Then there's going to be a fee on top of that. So by the time it filtered down to you, there's going to be maybe, just a wild guess, but somewhere in the neighborhood of $15 maybe per block. And that's, of course, that's not our goal. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for much bigger, much better. So rather than return this to you, if you had 10 blocks, then you've got enough to buy another block. Well, rather than do that, and I don't think there's going to be enough here to change anybody's lifestyle. So we're going to likely just reinvest the dividends that we do receive. And I apologize if I got anybody all excited at the 200 plus, and that somewhere I missed. I either hit my calculator wrong, I did something wrong, but we're looking at roughly, say, $20 increase in our value over there, which is not a bad thing at all. We take that dinar that they will give us, the 400 million dinar, and that will buy a lot of shares, of which the following year we'll have even higher dividends. And you look at this, I think we had some in our account prior, but like I said, I sent 40,000 over there. They ended up receiving 39.7 something. I can't remember the exact amount, but that $39,000 turned into 58 million dinar. Okay, so you just imagine about 8 times this amount. So it's quite a change in our portfolio. So what I will do, this should already be built up. This one should already be built up. We can't do anything with Baghdad for soft drink because they're at their limit. I've asked them to be sure and let us know when there would be some available for purchase. So they should be keeping an eye on that. If there's a international person or investment group that dumps IBSD, then we would be eligible to purchase more of those. With that said, once these are done, I'm going to get to the 100 million Asia sale, and then I will get to the 2 million Babylon Hotel, and then we are going to buy their Mamura Real Estate, which is their construction stock. They do investments, and it's all around a good stock for when they do expand their growth, and all that stock should be poised to do really well. And then I will get with my brokers and we will see what other stocks that are worth buying. You got to know that there are a lot of companies over there, but many of them are Islamic banks and Islamic entities. We are not investing in any Islamic entity whatsoever. Okay, they fund the wrong people, and we are not going to be a part of that. So that cuts out quite a few of the few that they have. That cuts a lot of them out. So I will get with our brokers and see which ones that we want to invest further in. But for now, this stock, these should increase. This one, and this one will go up a little bit. And the more, if we can get up to 100 million and they pay even 10 or 15, 20% next year, then we're looking at a huge chunk of change for the revaluation. Okay, so this was sent to me earlier. Thank you, Andrew. I don't really bring much news, and I don't do anything to try and get you excited or anything like that. But they held the Arab Monetary Fund, in cooperation with the International Monetary Fund Center for Economics and Finance in the Middle East, organizes a course on exchange rate policy. This is today, folks. But this is in the UAE. This morning, the exchange rate policy course, organized by the Institute for Training and Capacity Building at the Arab Monetary Fund in cooperation with the International Monetary Fund Center for Economics and Finance in the Middle East, was inaugurated during the period 18 to 28 of October 2021. So for the next several days, they're going to have this course, and you just see exchange rate policy throughout this article. And I'm just going to scroll slowly, and you can pause and read when you want to. Let me do that again. And this will give you a chance to see what I am talking about. This will make you wonder exactly, and I'll put this link into the description on the video. I haven't clicked it yet to even double check to make sure it goes there, but folks, there is so much going on over there that we still don't know an if or when at all, but the indicators are there that something positive is happening. And if you're in this, you're like me and just hope it hurries up, but there's no guarantee of that, of course. But this is an article that, number one, would make you go, why are they talking an exchange rate policy if there's not something going on? Okay, but they talk appropriate exchange. A fixed exchange rate helps curb inflation, and a flexible exchange rate policy helps absorb external shocks. Okay, now your course is rich in topics related to many important topics, as the different types of exchange rate strategies and arrangements and their compatibility with the existing economic policy will be reviewed. Who else in the Middle East is sitting on a forced rate? Who else in the Middle East has the need to work on an exchange rate? And if you're in the Middle East, wouldn't the other countries need to be aware of any major changes going on? And I'm not bringing this to you to get you excited or anything else, but I get a lot of people talk to me every day, and some of them just say, I just wonder if this is even real. Well, first off, there's no scam involved, because a scam would be something that takes your money. You've got a physical currency. If you have dinar, you've got a physical currency in your hand that is worth something. So you cannot be scammed out of it. And I just get really tired of the word scam, and people use it where it's not even meant to be used. And the scam part that some talk about is it a scam on us that there's ever even going to be a rate change? Well, we don't 100% know. We have faith that it's going to happen. We believe that it's going to happen. But do we know without a shadow of a doubt that it's going to happen? Not really. But we are taking a gamble. And I just wanted to show this as a means of reinforcing what we believe is going to happen. Could it be still years out? I suppose so. Does this talk about Iraq at all? No. But who else in the Middle East is concerned about an exchange rate? And why? What other country has a forced rate? What other country has a currency that was so devalued? The only one that comes to mind would be Kuwait, but that's been corrected. That was corrected just weeks after it happened to them. So the only country that an exchange rate policy would have any meaning, at least to me, and I'm not an economic expert by any stretch, but Iraq is the only one. So you can take this for whatever you want. I'm not trying to get you all excited. I am just simply reinforcing that we're looking really good right now. So, and you're going to talk to, if you talk to 10 different people, you're going to get 10 different answers as to a rate and a date. Why? Because nobody knows. But things in Iraq are happening at an accelerated pace, it seems like right now. There's just never been the kind of news that has been out there. Where all that comes into play as far as what we're expecting, we don't know. But everything points to them doing something at some point, and that's why we are in the stock market to begin with, because we believe that while the dinar can change a rate, I mean the value of the dinar could increase, and if you've got 1 million dinar, 10 million dinar, I know people that have well over 100 million dinar, they're going to cash that in, and that's going to be that. What we're looking at with Woolard Enterprises, or anyone really invested into the stock market, is not just that one-on-one selling out. Once we have a change in the rate, then that value, hopefully the stock market will increase, and that is even more for us than an even exchange from dinar to dollar, because that same dollar that is invested in the stock market should be worth even more. But we're going to get these dividends year after year after year. And the underlying value of the stock market is still there. So when we cash these dividend checks year after year, and we're making a profit year after year, our initial underlying value is still sitting there. Whether that's, thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even millions of dollars. I don't know what per block it would be, and there's no way to guess. We don't know what the stock market is going to do once all of this takes place. I cannot imagine it hurting us in any way. So we're going to continue to draw dividends while hopefully the stock market continues to grow, and the base funds that we have in that market will continue to grow as well. So where you know, on a 1-to-1, you bought $1 million dinar for somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000. That 1,000 turns into $1 million. Well, what is your 1,000 into this stock market going to actually be worth? 2 million, 5 million, 10 million? Who knows? There's just no way to know, but it can't be, I can't imagine it being equal to or less than trading of dinar. So we're in a good spot. We just have to be patient. Many people continue to ask me what I expect, when to expect it, and I give the same response. Nobody knows. You know, I could guess all day long. I could be like some of these people out there and tell you every other day that the RV is imminent. It's happening tomorrow. It's happening next week. It's happening this weekend. It's happening, and keep telling you that over and over, and at some point I'll be right. But I don't want to get you pumped on the idea that this is happening tomorrow or next week. We just do not know. So with that, I wanted to bring you this article because I don't understand why they would be having an actual seminar on this and why it would take 10 days. There's just, there are so many questions that we're not going to get answers to. But this does look positive for us. It looks positive for dinar holders in general. We will see where this takes us once everything is done, okay? So for now, again, I will probably do a very short update video showing you our stock totals, and from there we will just wait and see what happens. I think we're in an excellent spot. This is, you know, I was highly doubtful, but I can't argue with what's printed here. So this is monumental. I mean, can you name any stock in history that's ever paid this much in dividends? It's phenomenal. So this is a sign of good things to come, and I welcome your comments, and you're free to disagree with me, but we are on the right track. All right, so with that, I will bid you all a good day. God bless you all, and continue to be patient. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.